Hello students, I hope all is going well for you so far. This is a quick video guide for your first essay, which is a visual analysis. It's very similar to the discussion board that you've completed. It's a little bit more developed and has more detail, and so before you begin I suggest you start in the content folder and pull up a couple of documents. We're still analyzing rhetorically. You may want to review the elements of rhetorical analysis notes. It will help you with this visual analysis, and again, there are 5 big questions that you need to consider when you're rhetorically analyzing anything. The big question is, what's the author's purpose? And so what does he want the readers to understand? What is he trying to do for us? And you will answer this question as you're analyzing your visual, the painting or photograph, whatever it is you select. The next question that you want to consider is, what is the author's attitude towards the subject, the tone of the piece, and here again are the tone words that may help you with that. A third question that you may wish to consider as you're analyzing your visual is, do we trust the author? This is his ethos. Is he credible? Is he worth viewing? Why? How does he gain our trust? What does he do to gain our trust? And here is another question you may want to try to answer in your analysis, and that is, what's the emotional effect that the artist wants to have on the reader? Does he want to make us angry, happy, sad, nostalgic? And so you can look again at some of the tone words because they're emotional words and they may help you with this. Now, excuse me, this says arrangement, and so in the since we're viewing visuals or analyzing visuals, arrangement is a little bit different. It's more of the elements of composition. So I would take a moment to review that as well. Also, in your content folder and rhetorical analysis, go to the visual analysis folder and look at the optic document, and I would take a moment to look at this PowerPoint, the formal visual analysis PowerPoint presentation. It is a PowerPoint or as an online document, and so I'll just look at the online document for now. This has a good review of the principles of composition, and you should have already looked at this for your discussion board, but take a moment to view it again since you're writing an entire essay over one image. The elements are some of the strategies that artists use in their work, and so focus on this, the focal point. Where does your eye go first? Why are you attracted to that part of the image? What are the colors, textures, shapes that appear? And so how does the artist move your eye around the image? Here are some more specific terms for elements of composition. You have the line, which creates shapes, and again it helps to guide you from one part to another. And the shapes, there's art, there's some basic shapes where there's like the square and the triangle and the circle, and of course you have the irregular shapes found in nature. And then forms are the 3-dimensional shapes, and it creates depth. Okay, so I would definitely take a few minutes to review this presentation just so you will use the proper terms, because it's important that you use the terminology in your essay. Value is the degree of light and dark, and the tones between black and white, all the tones in between, the colors. Again, even in a monochromatic image, there's many shades that create depth and help your eye move around. And then texture, like in the background of this image, you can see there's texture. Even though it's 2-dimensional, it just has a rough texture to it, and so that's something that you may need to consider in your analysis. Balance and contrast. Okay, so if you look at this, you see there's a balance. This kind of goes right across the middle of the painting. You have the trees in the background and the people and the lake in the foreground. And so sometimes in art that's very predominant, and you will see that it's balanced or unbalanced. Okay, so I don't want to read this entire video to you or presentation to you. Just take a few minutes to make sure you're aware of these terms so you can use them appropriately in your analysis. Okay. Next, in your visual analysis, we'll look at the optic very quickly so you can get started in your assignment. The optic will be very helpful really for introducing your topic, because you might want to use the O. Just have a quick overview. What is the image about? Just like you did in your discussion board. And then kind of talk about the different parts very generally in the introduction. It would be nice if you could consider some of the context. This may require just a bit of research where you talk about the time period and to give us an idea of what's going on at the time when the artist created this image, because it helps to build background information which helps to create meaning. And your thesis statement or your claim should actually be the purpose. What is the artist's purpose in creating this piece? So just look at this, and again, if you scroll down, it has the terms once again and possible key questions that you could try to answer in your analysis, and why these terms or why this element is important to your image. And finally, let's look at the actual prompt of the essay. It says visual analysis essay right here. It's a narrative. And here's the prompt. And so you're going to select a work of art that visually conveys a narrative. That means it tells a story. What is the artist trying to tell us with this story? And so if you look at this, it's kind of unfolds through the different parts. What makes this difficult is there's really not a beginning, middle, and end to the story. And so you have to try to figure out the story that the artist is trying to tell. And that's really the toughest part. Now you can find any image that you like. I have these two links here. One is the Norman Rockwell Museum. He has quite a bit of artwork that conveys stories. And then Life Picture Collection, again, might be a good place to start. Here are the requirements. It should be 1100 word count minimum. It should have paragraphs, MLA heading. And if you cite anything or paraphrase anything or refer to anything, you need to have a works cited page. So you would definitely need to have that, because we need to cite the image that you're referring to. And then here's just the content. You need to hook your reader, provide background information. You need to have the thesis and examples and support, which would actually be where you refer to the image, the specific details of the image. And you also need to have the visual elements, the technical vocabulary in your essay. Please look at this. We cannot use you in this essay. That is considered second person. We shouldn't use first person, which would be I, or contractions. And it needs to be a formal essay. And again, here's the terms that you've already seen. I want to point out one more thing. Well, let's look at the images. Here's the Life Picture Collection. Okay, and so you can look through all the different photos. These are mostly photographs. You can explore the collections. Let's say you have a topic that you're interested in, like war and conflict, and then you can just go through and try to find an image that tells a story, and you're going to analyze the story and how the author or artist, what strategies he uses to tell this story. And see if I can get these to come up. There you go. And so this, what's nice about this, it does give you some of the background information in the image. Okay, now the Norman Rockwell Museum has some beautiful images that tell different stories, and so you can scroll through this and perhaps find an image that you like. Okay, again, here's the focal point. The girl in the little patchwork quilt. Why is it a patchwork quilt? And so that might be something that you want to discuss in your analysis. And you have the Boy Scout, and it has a nice title here, and you can consider the title as well. How does it create meaning, the time period? Okay, and I think that's it.